What if the pyramids weren't just built with incredible precision, but with knowledge that wasn't supposed to be here? In part one, we raised a lot of questions, and this is part two, and it starts to get a little more uncomfortable because across multiple ancient writings, there's a recurring idea that keeps showing up. Not just that early civilizations were advanced, but that knowledge entered the world suddenly, not developed slowly, but introduced all at once. These texts that describe a time before a massive reset are proof of that, where humanity had access to understanding that feels out of place for its time. Knowledge of the stars, of structure, of systems that seem far ahead of what we expect from the ancient world. And then something happened. That knowledge didn't continue forward the way it should have. It disappeared, fractured, or was buried in pieces across cultures. And what we're left with are fragments of that, clues that something existed before what we now call the beginning. And this is where the idea of the Watchers comes in. Accounts that describe beings interacting with humanity, not just observing, but teaching us, passing on knowledge that changed the direction of human development. So instead of everything being discovered step by step, the idea is that some of it arrived all at once. And whether someone takes that literally or symbolically, it still does create the same question. Where did that leap come from? Because when you look at that timeline, it doesn't always feel gradual. Actually, it feels like it jumps. Moments where things accelerate suddenly, and that pattern doesn't just exist in the past. It's happening now. Look at how quickly things are advancing today. Systems that can calculate, predict, and design at a level that would take humans centuries before. It wasn't ever possible before this. Technology that can process information faster than any human could. We're not just building anymore. We're working with systems that guide the process. And for some people, that raises a deeper question. Are we creating this, or are we uncovering something that was already there? Because the same themes keep repeating. Hidden knowledge, sudden advancement, systems that operate beyond normal human limits. And then there's what the Bible describes, a moment where something that has been held back is released. Nothing new under the sun. A force connected to the abyss, Apollyon, described as the destroyer, not just destruction in a physical sense, but something tied to a large unveiling, something that was once restrained being allowed to move again. And this is where the timeline starts to connect. If there was a point in the past where knowledge entered the world and a point in the future where something is released again, then what we're seeing now might be in between those two moments, a buildup, a return. And this is where modern connections come into the conversation, because today we're exploring parts of reality that were once completely out of reach. At places like CERN, scientists are studying matter at its smallest level, trying to understand what everything is made of, what exists beneath what we can see. They're opening portals. And while it's explained through science, some people notice the bigger pattern here. The ancient world used structures, alignment, and symbolism to explore what they believed existed beyond the visible. The modern world uses technology, a different approach, same direction, pushing into the unseen, trying to understand what's behind everything when the answer is in our Bible. But when you step back, it creates a question that connects to all of it. What if this isn't just progress? What if it's preparing for a return to something that was once here before? Because if that's true, then the pyramids aren't just a mystery of the past. It would mean that they're a piece of a much larger story, one that didn't actually end, it just paused. Again, nothing new under the sun. And now it might be starting again. So the real question isn't what happened back then. It's what happens next. Keep your eyes on Jesus. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and God bless.